Hey everyone, I'm Diana. I'm a three-time startup PM and I've now co-founded my own startup, and I follow a lot of B2B SaaS companies so that you don't have to. Hey everyone, today I'm going to be covering this app called Shields that one of my friends told me about. I write a lot of content on LinkedIn and I always feel like all the content I'm writing is just going into this black hole because I have no idea how the content is performing, who's reading it, how to focus and what content areas to focus on. So I actually have this spreadsheet where I track all the different posts that I've created. I kind of try to categorize them, and then I try to figure out which pieces of content I should write again. But it's entirely manual. It's just like gut feel. So when I heard about Shield, which helps you better understand your LinkedIn content posting, I thought that was super interesting. So when you come to their website, they basically talk about how their analytics for LinkedIn, which is great. It's for these content creators, for people who are trying to build a personal brand, which is exactly what I'm trying to do. So one thing I really liked about their particular product is how clear their website is in terms of what they actually do. So you can see that they help you see how many views you've generated. They help you connect with your audience, understand who's actually interacting with your content. You can see this followers chart, and I don't pay for LinkedIn, and I probably should, but I have not been able to figure out how to see how my followers have been trending over time. So this looks very useful. And then this resonated with me a lot because I actually, like I mentioned earlier, have this manual content table that I'm maintaining, and instead here, it'll just track all your content and tell you which posts are still active in people's LinkedIn feeds. And then finally, you can kind of benchmark your different content pieces from this content table that they have. So I was definitely curious about this. And I think having these customer testimonials is great too, because then you can see that other people who are on LinkedIn are also using this and kind of getting results from it. So one thing to note is that they put pricing right on this homepage. So you can see I can try it for 10 days. I can either pay annually or pay monthly. And then there are these different plans that I can sign up for. So I thought that was pretty great. One other interesting thing about how their sign up flow works is if you click sign up, it actually puts you directly over to pricing, so that you can kind of self-qualify into whether or not you're willing to pay this amount. And I am willing to pay this amount to try it out. If it actually works, I would definitely pay that amount. It's similar to how much I pay for other tools like Canva or some of my captioning tools for videos. So this is totally in line with what I usually pay for content creation tooling. So I went ahead and created an account for myself. When you create an account, they do ask you for a credit card. So you have to go in and kind of, again, self-qualify into paying for one of the plans. You do get that 10-day trial up front, but then you have to put in your credit card just to make sure that, you're willing to pay for this particular application. And so what you do need to do is you need to create you have to install their Chrome extension, and then they will send you credentials that you can use to log into your account. When I created my account, I went with the Shield starter plan just because I kind of just wanted to dip my toe in the water and see what things were like. I do think in retrospect, I probably should have signed up for a more robust plan just to see all the features and functionality rather than starting with the lowest plan. And I'll talk a little bit about why I think so in a second. But essentially, you get this content report that shows you more stats that really are not on LinkedIn about how your content is performing. I particularly like this tab where you get this content overview, but you also get this content table where I can see how many of my posts are actually active right now. And then what I'm planning to do is basically I will post once I have all inactive content. So I'm not inundating people's feeds with content from me. And I'm also continuing to be present in their feed. But what's interesting is actually if I move my person over here, you can actually see that I have 3 active posts and 1 inactive post. So I'm actually going to try to maybe not have so many active posts in one go, just maybe have 1 or 2, and then have some other inactive posts so that I'm not just all over people's LinkedIn feed all the time. I mean, I personally find that to be annoying if I see a content creator just churning content out every day. So I think I might make that change based on the stats I'm seeing here. And then here also you're able to see which posts are getting better engagement rates and all of that. I do feel like on their website though, they just seem to have more stats around which content is performing better and all of that. And so I definitely feel that that would probably be a better option for people who are really trying to use this data to create better content. The last thing I wanted to show is this pretty cool graphic that kind of shows you how your connections have grown over time. So, when I graduated, I was still just dabbling with LinkedIn. And then recently we do a lot of selling on LinkedIn. So that's kind of why there's that spike. but I think this is just a vanity metric really, but it's really interesting to kind of see kind of how investing more time in LinkedIn does actually increase the number of connections and the number of followers that you have. So overall, I think this is actually a pretty cool tool. I would definitely want to try a higher plan in the future. But if you are looking for more statistics around your LinkedIn content post, this is kind of one of the few tools I've seen do it. Granted, I haven't actually spent a lot of time looking for other alternatives. So if you know of any alternatives that you like, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. So I know it's hard to stay up to date with all the new SaaS products that are coming out literally every day. So I have a playlist that goes through all of the SaaS products that come through my feed that I think are interesting to kind of take a look at. So if you're interested in that or you think that would be helpful, go ahead and either click the subscribe button or check out that playlist.